But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Bennifer. So there's a story that came out the other day, according to the Daily Mirror, that J-Lo has hired a crisis PR manager to help navigate the divorce in light of her marital issues with Ben Affleck, with insiders exclusively telling In Touch that a divorce filing is imminent. Now, I did see on social media that J-Lo has been promoting her new movie, um, Atlas, which I believe comes out this week on Netflix. And I have to give it up to Netflix. See, any other time, Netflix, y'all are horrible in regards to y'all promotion. But I will say this, when it comes to certain celebrities, y'all definitely roll out the red carpet. And I have liked what I've been seeing in regards of how y'all be promoting certain artists. So even though J-Lo works by root canal nerve with all these stories that's been coming out in regards to her attitude and all the other stuff, I will say that I am kind of curious to see this movie, and I will see it because I like J-Lo as an actress. Now, the songs is another story. I don't care about her relationship with Ben Affleck. I don't care what she tries to go mid-tempo R&B. I don't care what she be trying to think she could sing like Minnie Riperton and Mariah Carey. Like, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. If you was to do dance pop J-Lo, if you was to do Latin pop J-Lo, Chris is there. But when you try to be Miss Yang Yang with the vocals, I cannot. It's like, sis, you are who you trying to sell that foolishness to? Because we all know that you got half a vocal range, half an octave, I should say. You ain't got a 1, a 2, a 4, or a 5 octave. The 5 octaves is to people like Mariah. But then at this point, because of Mariah's age, do you think she still got the 5 octave? But anyway, let's get off of Mariah because Mariah don't know her, remember? So, well, look, that's what she said. So it says, as J-Lo and Ben's face ongoing divorce rumors, and also I should point this out. Now, at the Atlas premiere, Ben wasn't there again, and they also were saying that he didn't spend Mother's Day with J-Lo. The word on the curb was he spent it with Jen Garner. Now we're gonna get into Jen Garner in a minute. I was gonna lump them as separate topics, but I'm gonna lump it all together because it's all one big story. So I don't want to kind of like do two separate things. I'm gonna just flow it all as one. So it says that at the time of night, just 2 years ago, during a surprise ceremony at a little white wedding chapel in Vegas, some are speculating their marriage could near an end soon, as multiple sources claim the two are having issues. Now, sources also claim that if the pair do decide to call off their marriage, they expect Jennifer to also hire famous divorce lawyer Laura Wasser to represent her once again. An insider told In Touch that Laura was a divorce lawyer who mediated Ben's divorce with Jen Garner, and she represented J-Lo in her divorce of Mark Anthony, so there's history on both sides. Now, child, you gonna hire the same woman to handle both their divorces, so there is history. There is something in common. She know basically what Ben and Jen went through. Number one, as in Ben and Garner, and now the other Bennifer, which would be Ben and J-Lo. Now we all know, like we've seen Jennifer out here promoting stuff by herself. She's been promoting Atlas. She did the Met Gala on her own, which I believe she's like a co-chair or something or another. But it's funny how y'all was out here. Well, I'm not going to lump Chris Hemsworth in this because I like Chris Hemsworth, and he was at the gala too. But have y'all started blocking him on Instagram? Because a lot of people saying that too. But I like Chris Hemsworth, so we're gonna leave him alone. So it was like, unless he do something problematic, then we'll talk about him on the show. But it also was like, look, Ben is currently shooting The Accountant 2, which I like the first one, but I never thought it was the type of movie that needed a sequel. But if Hollywood feels that they want to make a sequel, let them make one. So speaking of Jen Garner, they said that Lopez has been confiding in Ben's ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, as she battles to save her marriage, and saying that the two women fear he is close to breaking his sobriety. Now, with A-list couple J-Lo and Ben Affleck rumored to be heading for divorce, the singer has turned to Jen Garner as an unlikely source of support, sorry. And this is according to Radar Online. Now, speculation about Bennifer's marriage being on rocky ground continued to ramp up after the couple's recent 47-day hiatus from the public eye. Now, it's funny because we talked about it on the show that when people actually, I'm like, child, first of all, y'all, what life? Y'all need to get a life if y'all was up in there keeping count of how many days that y'all ain't seen J-Lo and Ben attached to the damn hit. Like, who keeps track of that? But if y'all gonna do it for me, I'm gonna use y'all, I'm gonna cite y'all as the source that, of how many days y'all been keeping track? If you gonna do it, better you than me. But I'm gonna tell y'all what the number is. And it's funny how after they were like, oh yeah, it's been 47 days. Then all of a sudden you see them two together. So we all know this is some calculated PR mess. And like we said before, especially like when, the thing, like even the thing when I talked about with Diddy and that sort of situation, it's all it's all in the timing. In regards of like, oh, he had nothing to say before the beatdown video came out, but now that the video came out, all of a sudden, less than 72 hours, you coming out with your that BS I'm sorry video. And word on the curb, I did hear this T too, and shout out to Tisa Tales. She was up in there on her channel talking about how that the feds interrogated J-Lo. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what she said. And Tisa be getting the tea. So she said that J-Lo was interrogated by the feds over all this other stuff that was going on, especially, what happened back in the day with Shine and that whole shootation situation, and was asking. And another thing I was thinking about, do y'all think Diddy put pause on J-Lo? Because shout out to Lunel, she said if he would have did something like that to J-Lo or Snow Bunny or whatever the case was, you best believe that he would be in jail or they would have filed charges and that sort of thing. And say what you want, but J-Lo is a light-skinned Latina, but she could play other roles. Like, she don't have to play straight up Puerto Rican. They've had her play Italian. They've had her play other ethnicities, which when you're racially ambiguous, Hollywood will do that. They will hire you to play other races besides a Puerto Rican. So I kind of wonder if he ever put pause on her. And for her to get up out that situation, she probably found a way to use that to her advantage, in regards of getting further into the music. But anyway, so back to the Jen Garner thing. Let me close this. Wait, yeah. Let me because I was like, I almost went back to the other clip. So it says that Lopez and Garner were concerned about Affleck. J-Lo has allegedly been confiding in her husband's ex because she felt that Garner was one of the only people in the world who could understand what she's going through. Now, Garner has been through it with the same man herself, and although the circumstances were quite different, they both dealt with some of the same issues. Affleck and Garner divorced in 2018, and the Alias star has been dating businessman John Miller for years. The actress was reportedly determined to help save her ex's new marriage, viewing Lopez as a source of stability for Affleck. Jen does not want Ben to pull the plug on this marriage because she really does care about J-Lo, going on to reveal that Garner did go to his house to talk to him about this and to try to keep the two of them together. J-Lo was told several times by Jen how valued she is in all their lives. She is one of the only women who can get through to Ben and keep him from jumping off the deep end with his addiction. Affleck confessed during a February 2020 interview with the New York Times that his drinking had exacerbated marital problems with Garner, saying people with compulsive behavior, and I am one, have this kind of basic discomfort all the time that they're trying to make go away. You're trying to make yourself feel better with eating or drinking or sex or gambling or shopping or whatever, but that ends up making your life worse. Then you do more of it to make that discomfort go away. Then the real pain starts. It becomes a vicious cycle you can't break. That's at least what happened to me. So it kind of makes you wonder, it's like, okay, so maybe J-Lo is part of blame in a lot of this because she sure knows how to pick these messy ass men. But then again, Ben, what is going on with you that you are confiding in alcohol, gambling, and all these other things, and maybe sex? I don't know if he's been cheating. I don't think I've ever heard stories about Ben cheating on the women he's been in relationships with. Maybe he has. I don't know. I don't follow his career like that. I think we only pay attention to Ben because of his attachment to Jennifer Lopez. That seems to be the only time that we really kind of paid attention to his or pried into his personal life. So I don't know if he messed around on Jen Garner. I don't think he has. I think a lot of what played into their divorce was because of his addiction problems. And for many years, Jennifer Garner tried to keep that man on the right track and get him clean and was taking care of him. Like, we've seen the photos online of him passed out in the car with his mouth open and Jen playing sober Sandy and driving the car and doing whatever, and while Ben being a hot ass mess. And maybe because he's stressed out and there's a lot of stuff that's going on, whatever his may have stemmed from his childhood, I don't know. But whatever issues that he has, maybe he also needs to take the time to seek therapy, deal with a lot of his own demons instead of carrying it into his marriage. And who knows? I mean, no shade. I like the whole fairy tale idea of like, we tried to make it work in the 20s. You know, when we were well, 20 years ago. I can't say in our 20s because I don't think they were in their 20s when they got together. But I think they were in their 30s. 20 years ago, we got together. It didn't work. We broke up. We moved on. We saw other people. 20 some odd years later, we got back together and made it work. Fairy tale wise, you know, Mr. Disney princess, whatever shit, all that Disney-fied bullshit that a lot of y'all believe in them fairy tales, that's cute or whatever. But now it's like, okay, now the reality is setting in. And I don't know, maybe I'm too much of a damn cynic and a realist. But to me, it just seems like um, I just don't feel like this relationship was meant to be and it was going to work. Yeah, it's cute or whatever because on paper it looks great and you know you can put out this whole situation. But if one is not both are not willing to come to the table and make the relationship work, then it's doomed to fail. And maybe Jennifer Garner is trying to keep Ben and Jen together, the other Bennifer, because she don't want that baggage coming over to her. It's like when he break up, I don't need you coming over here with your woes and your drunkenness, and I gotta clean your shit up. It's like, no, you grown. You 51 years old, I believe. Early 50s, we'll say. At some point, you gotta come and handle your own mess. I'm over here living my best life. I'm helping co-parent the kids. And I got my new man, who's a businessman, and we've been seeing each other, you know, for years. I don't know when they started a relationship, but Ben and Jen, Garner, broke up in 2018. So that's 6 years. I moved on. I've evolved into a whole nother relationship. And Ben and Jen, well, it seems like Jennifer Garner, it doesn't really care about all the pomp and circumstance of Hollywood. Like, she's an actress. She comes and does what she needs to do, but she also maintains her private life. She's not into the glitz and the glamour and stuff. I mean, she can get up and do that when it's time to go and hit the red carpet, but she don't care about all that other stuff. So Ben and Jen, I wish y'all well. I hope y'all work out your relationship. But if it's not meant to be, I feel like y'all need to move on. Jennifer Lopez needs to take time for herself and figure out, what she needs to do in regards to her life. Yes, the Puerto Rican Thanos needs to take a break. Stop trying to collect all these rings. Stop trying to, always feel like you need to have a man on your arm. Because I really don't feel like you exercise your therapeutic demons when you did that "This Is Me Now" situation. I feel like you were just putting all up in there because you was poking fun, but it was painful to watch rather than feel like a therapy session. And then you need to figure out what it is you need to do and figure out what you want in life. I don't know. Maybe he's at a point in his life where he's going through a midlife crisis, and this is the product of that. And J-Lo is catching up in there. But she's also another one that hasn't come to terms with what's going on because she put out this old BS excuse the other day when it came to, oh yeah, everything's fine and stuff. And if you're gonna act like everything is fine when we clearly see it's not, then okay, sis, we'll stay in that little fake bubble along with you. But eventually bubbles pop. Just so you know. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments in regards to this story below.